now to check out some insane stunt riding from the Full Throttle Promotions team. Danger Dave, Lucky and It's Matty.
Lonely and I think I know why. I live my life alone and this way, oh surely die. Wonder often how my life will end, but no one really knows, and so I won't try to pretend. Just a momentary distraction, dream myself.
The team's here supporting the AMRS and will be tearing it up at Wakefield Park for the last round. You can also check them out at the Kids Race Day at Oran Park on December 17 in conjunction with the Rotary Club and Camp Quality. Check out the website for more details, kidsraceday.com.au. With only 2 rounds remaining, Ty Hanger and Derek Pingle are set to continue their tooth and nail battle at the front of the Yokohama Australian Formula 4000 Drivers' Championship. As the championship draws to a close and a mere 19 points separate the pair, there's sure to be plenty of fireworks. Both drivers are desperate to get their hands on their maiden championship. Derek Pingle displayed his desperation last round at Queensland Raceway.
We were considerably quicker than David all weekend, in fact about 1.5 seconds to 2 seconds. When I had to start from behind, and as I came up to David, David was very good at protecting the line, and you're entitled to do so, but not overly. And I believe that as the race went on, I've tried a few different ways to get around David. He could clearly see that. And when he went into turn, I think it's 8, he actually took a different line, braked early, which caused me to react and brake early. I locked the left-hand front wheel. We tagged.
And dive down the inside, in fact, tags the back of Amaduzzi and turns him around.
Amaduzzi stays on the gas and bags it up and keeps it going.
When things happen like that and you race in close proximity, which we were for 14 laps, nose to tail, nose to tail, nose to tail. When someone does something different, it can catch you unaware. We can't predict what someone's going to do. But that's a race incident.
Yokohama Australian Formula 4000 Drivers' Championship continues to be on a knife's edge between Derek Pingle and the man who's always on the gas, Ty Hanger. What a battle it has been so far as we come to Calder Park Raceway for the second last round of the championship.
That's the way the championship looks. Hanger out in front over Pingle, Sam Dale, Les Crampton, Matthew Fox in 5th. But problems during qualifying for Ty Hanger. Handling problems kept him out and only completed 2 laps. He'll start in position number 5 as they come onto the start-finish straight.
So here we go, looking for a start right now, and Pingle shoots away off his front row start. He will be a tough man to beat. Ty Hanger is going to have some work to do, that is for sure. In they come into turn 1, and Hanger makes his move into 3rd.
Yeah, good spot there by Ty Hanger. Picked up quite a few spots too, in fact. Coming down to the first part of the straight, and around goes the 74 car of Les Crampton. Les sitting out in the boondocks at the moment. Gets the car but fired back up. Points it in the right direction.
Oh, how much fun could you have out there on that grass?
Well, unfortunately in an open wheeler it's not where you want to be, and he'll have a lot of dirt and rubbish on the tyres now, and it'll cost him even more with regards to lap times.
The Solar Coat entry rejoins the field as we have a look at Pingle. Whoa, Dale got the car way out of shape. That might have half spooked Crampton. He sort of saw the incident about to happen in front of him, or did he just brake a little early? We'll give him the benefit of the doubt and say he was predicting that there could be a problem there.
Yeah, well,
there you go, the just
nonetheless,
pass car.
Win, lose or draw, he's lost a lot of spots and he's going to have to make up a massive amount of ground now.
Here is the ZX1 sponsored entry, the Fly Navy car of Sam Dale, a helicopter pilot for the Defence Force for the Navy. A man is always piloting something quickly on the weekend.
It gives you an idea of how strong the suspension and how little travel the suspension on these cars have. The onboard of Sam Dale's left-hand front suspension working very, very hard, about 10 mil of travel only in these fantastic cars.
Everyone in the field is from New South Wales or Queensland, so it seems. So, and of course, this man right here, Ty Hanger, having to do all the challenging. The team, of course, he's chasing the Derek Pingle team, who just brought back from England their race engineer, Barry Locke. He's an ex-Formula 1 McLaren engineer, and Barry's going to be with the team for the remaining 2 races, so clever work on behalf of Pingle, bringing in some smart people to work on the car.
Well, it's paid pretty good dividends, hasn't it, at the moment? He is way out in front of Ty Hanger and doing a good job out there.
Last round of the championship. What a great camera angle this is. Down there working to see the suspension. Just see the brake rotors off to the left, the Mumbo Racing sticker on the cover just there. The Dale boys have got it all covered, if you pardon the expression. The last round of the championship coming up at Wakefield Park, and that really could decide the championship. This man here, Ty Hanger, needs to get a move on because Pingle is eating up the points as long as he can finish in front of him.
It's going to be a great weekend, that weekend, with the 500 on, of course. It's become almost a tradition now at Wakefield Park towards the end of the year, and you get a variety of different cars all setting sights on the one 500-kilometre race. A lot of fun.
Absolutely.
And a cheap way of going motorsport too, I've got to point out.
I love watching the 500. It's always a fantastic event. Pingle's got a good lead. Ty Hanger really having to play catch-up. The Central Coast of New South Wales-based Ty Hanger trying to run down our race leader. There he is, the Australian Lifestyle Management Group Video Easy. Number 8, red and green car, coming out to put a lap down on Les Crampton, who spun earlier in the opening lap. Les
does a good job, very fair man, gets out of the way. His daughter's actually over in the United Arab Emirates at the moment promoting the World GT race. That's the weekend before the V8 Supercar round over there, and obviously enjoying her new work over there at the top of Africa, if you like.
How could you not enjoy that? What a great opportunity.
Yeah, apparently it got as low as 31 degrees there last week.
Oh.
The top was 49.5 because at 50 the workers get to go home, so apparently it never goes over 50.
Oh. Down the main straightaway comes Derek Pingle. It's almost too hot in here right now. Must be at least 23. Down the main straightaway into turn number 1 goes Derek Pingle. Now, Derek's a man that we've seen lead like this before and unfortunately throw it away. So concentration stations for him at the moment.
Don't put the mockers on him, whatever you do.
Ty Hanger. He's not made much inroad at all to this man's lead.
No, well, Pingle doing a very good job at the moment. This is a very difficult track too to race these cars on the F4000s. You've got the changes in attitude which tend to lighten the back of the car and make the car want to step around because it's also bumpy. You can get into the Les Crampton incident out of turn 2 on that first lap. The back of the car wants to step out on you. You really need to be on your game.
Here comes your second place man, the Plume Interiors Power Guard Mouth Guard, number 48. Of Ty Hanger. What can he do with that leader? Not much at the moment.
Well, knuckle down, concentrate on your racing lines, don't worry about your opposition. Make sure you get every braking marker right and get on the gas as early as you can. That's all he can do. Concentrate on his own race and hope, for his sake anyway, that Pingle has an incident out in front. But, Derek's been around for a little while. He knows what these cars are like to race and he won't be making any mistakes. He'll just be concentrating on being conservative at the moment, making sure that he doesn't have to get to the last second and do anything exactly like that.
That's a big lock-up from Fox, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Huge.
Pingle can afford to brake, perhaps a foot, maybe 2 feet earlier than anyone else, and just concentrate on keeping the car smooth.
Here's the replay. Wow, big lock-up there, and that tested the Yokohamas for sure. Fox in the number 24, so here's a couple of different looks at it.
Yeah, but a smart driver too, got off the brakes nice and early. Once he realised that the wheels had locked up, got off the brakes so he didn't flat spot a tyre, just elected to run a little bit wide, missed the apex, and fortunately, I don't think you'll find the Yokohamas will be too disappointed with that one.
1 to go, 1 lap to go for Derek Pingle, who would love to win this and add some more points to his battle with Ty Hanger as they go into the final round.
Well, it makes it a very interesting championship if he can take the victory, I'll assure you of that.
Oh, I'm sure you're right, Boydo. There's no doubt about that. It'll bring them down to probably within 5 or 6 points coming into Wakefield Park for the big finale. Now, what does he do here? Does he charge past Fox or does he hesitate? Up the inside he goes. No, I'll have that spot.
Yeah, nice and clean. One of the things, though, when you're out in front like this, you need to still be competitive. You need to still push hard because if you don't, you can lapse into a moment's, concentration out the door and all of a sudden, bang, you're in the dirt.
Checkered flag at the ready for Derek Pingle. He will do the job in the Video Easy Mitre 10 entry. Second to be Ty Hanger. Couldn't do anything about him. Back to Sam Dale, Matthew Fox and Les Crampton.
Earlier this morning it looked a little bit sus because of the wet track, but they dried up sufficiently for us for the first race. And I've got to tell you, mate, the car was brilliant. Setup was it was excellent. I got Barry Locke back over from England, and we've done a lot of fine tuning on the car, and we actually went quicker than we have all weekend. And I just posted those 56s in there and keep putting them in, and had a bit of a glance in the mirror every now and then, and it was some daylight there, so I was very happy, mate, very excited, and it's a great reward for a lot of effort that the team have put in to get here, because it's been, we've done a lot of work to make sure we've got a good package.
We had a bit of a suspension failure on the early laps of qualifying, so unfortunately didn't get any time lapse in, so we just have to start off the rear of the grid and did the best we could from there.
Got a good start, got a bit of a blinder, got past Les Crampton and was tucked in behind Derek and pushed hard out of the first turn and stepped out pretty sideways, and I think Ty behind me was a little bit nervous but managed to gather it up and press on.
One of the first things you notice on an open-wheeler motor car, whether it's a Formula 4000 or a Formula 1, is the suspension componentry on the front. But a lot of it, of course, is hidden under this front panel. And Sam, this is the engine room, I suppose, for the suspension components.
Yeah, that's where all the action happens. The way it works is the forces come through from the road through the tyre, along through the push rod and pivot at the rocker. So the forces are then from the road are acting longitudinally along the car, and then obviously the springs are keeping the suspension where it needs to be. We've got maybe 5 or 10 millimetres of travel, not like a road car where you're worried about comfort. We're worried about making the most out of the tyre and also keeping a stable aero platform so that the wings can do their best work.
There is nothing comfortable about this car, is there?
No, definitely not, Daniel. It's coming down the straight here at Calder. It's quite bumpy, and basically you feel like your backside's riding along the bumps of the circuit. We've got 22 millimetres of ground clearance at the floor, and as we get up to 240 kilometres an hour here, the airflow and the downforce actually reduces that ride height even further. When we go to a faster circuit, say here at Calder, we can run harder springs and lower ride height so that we can make the most of our tyres, using them better than the next guy.
Well, if you put it all together, of course, you can go better than the next guy, and at the moment that's Derek Pingle. It's the Formula 4000s, and with the suspension package, the low ride heights, the Holden power plant and the Yokohama tyres, it's one of the reasons that these guys are one of the fastest motorsport categories in the country.
Last race of our coverage for the Yokohama Australian Formula 4000 Championship, and that's the battle between those two. The video Easy Gatton sponsored car of Derek Pingle up against the Power Guard Mouthguard's entry, of course, Ty Hanger. Sam Dale further back in the field in the ZX1 Extra Lube car as we get set for a start. Boydo, it's nothing between them as they get away.
Oh, I think maybe Ty Hanger just got the jump on the start, but Pingle fights back. Conditions haven't changed here. It's still cool, cloudy. Fortunately, the rain has stayed away, which has been good for these cars.
Both these guys need to take it in mind that crashing, spinning out or not finishing is going to be a critical blow to either of their championship aspirations. So you have to be so careful. You have to push, but be mindful you can be crashed out. And what a battle this will be. This is the battle for the championship lead right here.
Well, be a Michael Schumacher. If you're going to crash, take your major rival out at the same time.
Oh, absolutely.
Adelaide.
Well, these are the only two that have been running together throughout the course of this race so far. So Sam Dale still back there in third, Matty Fox in fourth position. But they race their way down to the old Glowworth corner now. Ooh. Sweep wide. And at the moment, Pingle looks a little too smooth to be caught for Ty Hanger.
Yeah, Ty really needed to be closer coming onto the start-finish straight to try and get in the slipstream. And once Pingle's able to give himself a bit of breathing space, that will probably be enough to take the victory in this second race. So Ty really needs to work hard in these opening laps. But, we had issues with his car during the qualifying session, and obviously not entirely happy with the way that car is performing out there on the circuit. Just a little bit slow. Looks like he's got understeer on turning. He wants to turn the steering wheel in. The car wants to go straight ahead, which means he has to slow it down even more on the approach to turns.
And not only that, this championship is not something he wanted to be battling going into the last round. He would have preferred to wrap things up today, Boydo, rather than have to suffer the next couple of weeks of thinking about it, being nervous about it, not being able to put it away. So at the moment, Pingle, very much the fly in the ointment for Ty Hanger's championship aspirations.
It's a very good point, Wade, and the thing you need to keep in the back of your mind, motorsport is not just about a car, not just about mechanical reliability, not just about your ability to drive it, but also the mental pressure that you put yourself under. And speaking of which, we're on board with Sam Dale rocketing down the start-finish straight. This is a great camera angle.
We're almost inside his helmet here at the moment. It's great stuff. The Mumbo Motorsport entry, the Sam and Rod Dale racing car. Look how close he keeps his hands to the wheel. Very much like the old Mark Martin Arkansas grip. Not much room inside that car.
Sam Dale pilots a chopper during the week, and I'm not referring, he's not a hairdresser. He's a helicopter pilot, of course. and out there at the moment doing what he absolutely loves to do on his weekends, go very, very fast in these F4000 cars.
It must be a relaxing distraction for him, I would think. Hanger has just not had the sting in his tail to go with Pingle so far this weekend.
No, Pingle's really had the measure this weekend, doing a very good job. He got the jump off the start and managed to get into the lead going down into turn one, and he's slowly pulling away. It's only tenths of a second per lap, but that's all you need to do.
Wakes his way into the right-hander here at the moment. Pingle, very professional guy, always pumps out his own press releases and plenty of information provided to series organisers and announcers, whereas Ty Hanger goes about the quiet approach, the gently situation. Oh, a couple of tear-offs that Derek just discarded then. He obviously didn't need them. But this is a championship hanging in the balance here at Calder Park.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it was a very good time in qualifying too for Derek Pingle. He almost equalled his quickest time ever at Calder Park, the 56.68. So it's really, it's always the business end of the season where the really good drivers within a category stand up to be counted, and Pingle's doing that this weekend.
If they finish like this at the moment, I think Pingle will have closed to within something like 1 point of the championship leader. So what a nail-biter it'll be going into Wakefield Park.
Bring on the final round. Good little dice going back further in the field too. There is the 74 machine of Les Crampton being absolutely monstered at the moment by Matthew Fox, who's trying to find a way past. Oh, Fox locks up again, this time a double dip on the brakes, runs a little bit wide, but fortunately doesn't lose too much ground.
Man, that could have been ugly. Could have been a way past or a way through, whichever you prefer, but he manages to charge on regardless, and Fox has dropped a fair bit of ground as we had expected. He'd also be collecting his breath again. His heart would be pounding louder than the race car. Then he could have taken them both out. Now, look at the run he gets on Crampton now, though.
Yeah, straight past.
Problem for Les.
Head down towards turn one. Yeah, I don't disagree with you there. Obviously, that's a massive amount to make up in a straight line. So, Les Crampton obviously has an issue. It looks to be cruising at the moment.
Here is the replay. Your Yokohama replay shows Fox peeling out of the draft like a seasoned pro and blasting by his adversary, Les Crampton, as we get down towards the business end of this, our final race for the Formula 4000 for this weekend's coverage, as Fox has nothing but clear track to work in now.
Yeah, now he starts looking at trying to pick up apexes and concentrating on his line. He's pulled away at a zillion miles an hour over this guy, Les Crampton, the Queenslander, who obviously has some sort of issue with the car because he is travelling way too slow. And I wouldn't be surprised if he bows out of this one. In fact, there he goes, his hand up in the air.
There, Nostradamus,
indicating that he's going straight into pit lane.
You've got radio control to him, haven't you?
Well, the thing is, when you're travelling that slow and you've got people like this man, Pingle, travelling so quick, the closing speeds are quite scary, and Les doing a smart thing and pulling off the circuit.
The number 8 car of Derek Pingle charging ever onwards as he nails and mows down this championship lead that Ty Hanger had. As they come down towards this right-hander, Pingle will be grinning from ear to ear if things can keep on keeping on. Man, he's dropped Ty right off. In fact, where is Hanger? We're on board with Sam Dale.
The ZX1 Extra Lube on board shows you what it's like to go around the Calder Park circuit. Look at Dale's head bouncing from side to side as he makes his way down towards turn one. Now moves across to pick up the optimum racing line, back through the gears. Now straightens the car up and starts his run through that section of the circuit.
It's a good
Great
camera.
to watch those on boards.
It's a good camera angle, that one, looking down over the top of the car, isn't it? It really does give you an idea of how busy you can be behind the wheel. Dale continuing on, charging back there in about third place at the moment. If Hanger is still out there, we haven't seen Ty Hanger. Pingle, meanwhile, relentlessly mowing down the championship lead. 1 lap to go.
This will be very interesting going into the final round with just 1 point between the two of them. Pingle down to turn one. No mistakes this weekend. As we said, right on the money with regards to speed and lap times, putting in some of his best lap times around this circuit ever. It tells you that he's really coming on towards the latter half of the season.
No silly mistakes today, no overdriving, just clinical, to the point, and almost to the championship lead.
Yeah, well, only a few more turns to go. Down through the right-hander, followed by the hard left. Nice and smooth through this section of the circuit. He can afford to button off a little bit now. He has quite a handy gap in this final race. through the final turn. The checkered flags at the ready. The championship is alive in season 2006, Wado.
1 round to go, and hasn't it closed in now? Pingle pumps the air. Ty Hanger is in second. It's a long way back to Tipperary. Dale, Fox and Crampton. How about the points now? With only 1 round to go, it's closed right up now. Points. What a battle it's going to be going into Wakefield.
We went out there and it's a standing start, and Ty got a bit of a jump, but I pulled him in by the first corner, and then I just set about doing what I needed to do to stay in front. And then I thought, to heck with it, I'm just going to keep on decreasing the times and shut down the lap times. And we got into the 55s, mid 55s. It was about a second and a half quicker than our pole time. And it was just awesome, mate. We just kept peeling them off. The car got better and better and better. And, mate, I felt great. It could have gone on for another 18 laps. It wouldn't have mattered.
That's all from this week's show, but on next week's program, it's all the Cams Nationals action from Calder Park Raceway and more from the Superbikes at Symmons Plains, including the 125s, Pro Twins and Super Sport. We'll see you then.
Oh, the touch, he's gone!